Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
I don't think, oh, there we go. I can hear myself. All right, so we're going to fade the music out. Hey, everybody. It is crazy here tonight. Welcome to Living Unfiltered. I don't even know the name of my own show right now because I just ran in the studio. This is par for the course for me. I've got Kurt sitting next to me. I've completely disemboggled him.
It's good.
It's quite funny. So sorry for the late start. Actually, and this is UBN Radio, and this is my show. This is Living Unfiltered, What's Your Truth with Wendy Cooper. And it is only my second show. I've had many here at UBN Radio, but this is my second show for Living Unfiltered, which is my new format of finding myself and finding my own healing and sharing that with other people, and while they're finding theirs, and we can do that here and try to do it unfiltered. I have a great guest tonight. She is going to join us via Skype, but since Kurt and I are a little frantic, we need a couple of minutes to get it together. It was really interesting. I was driving in, and I have lived in Los Angeles for most of my life, including when I was a child. And as I'm driving in, you can take, anybody who's been in LA, you know, it's like you can take a million different routes to get to a certain place, and depending on what time of day it is. And that's why the Californians are so funny on Saturday Night Live if you're from LA, because they do this whole, hey, how did you come? You know, well, I took the 405 to the 102 or whatever. But so tonight it was really interesting because I come from the South Bay, so I come from down by Manhattan Beach. Or the airport, if you know Los Angeles. And so I decided I'm going to take the surface streets because I did a SIG alert, and I jump on and I see that, okay, well, I'm not going to get on the 105, and I'm not going to get on the 405, and I'm certainly not going to go through downtown. So there's a million different ways to get to Sunset Gower Studios. And so I decided that I would take the surface streets, and I would come up Venice and go through Culver City, which is where Sony Studios are. And then I would just kind of jump around and find my way over here to Sunset, which I've done a billion times. And tonight, I got lost. And I couldn't, and you know when you get lost and you can't find your direction, and then I couldn't get Tony here at the station on the phone because he's in a meeting, and I'm frantic. So I stop at a light, and I'm Facebooking my guest. Thank God Facebook message went through to Jeanette. And I Facebooked my guest, and I said, oh, I'm lost. Call this, we're going to get you on the line. We're going to get you on Skype. But I was late getting here. I was freaking out. I was just freaking out. How freaking weird is that I got lost coming to the studio? It's a first for everything. Anyway, Kurt, how are we doing over there?
We're doing good. We got her on the line, but we just don't have any video right now.
Okay, so we're going to work on that with Jeanette, or should we get Jeanette on the line and then work on the video? Can we do that? Get her audio up? You think? You know what? I'm going to talk about a few things first. I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. Jeanette, I'm sure that you're listening, so you just hold tight. Jeanette and I, oddly, Jeanette Ruiz, it could be Ruiz, but I'm not sure. But anyway, Jeanette has a remarkable story, and what we try to focus on here at Living Unfiltered is having a platform where the
person whom you're trying to reach
oh my goodness,
is currently
look at that.
unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Okay, I have to Facebook her. Yeah. Welcome to live streaming radio. What did I do with my phone? I think I'm sitting on my phone. I'm usually sitting on it. What do you think we should just start our whole night all over again?
Yeah, I wish.
Okay, stand by. Let me see if I can. That's my producer talk going now. Stand by. I can't find my phone. Hey, Jeanette, why don't you do us a favor? If you're listening, which I hope you are, can you please, we're going to voicemail when we call you on Skype. And not sure why, but we see your face, but we don't see you. I mean, we are not connecting with you. That happened before. But anyway, Living Unfiltered really is all about letting
The person
down.
whom you're trying to reach.
Jeanette, you got it going to voicemail, honey. Can we do it a different way? Can we do it with, hey, Jeanette, why don't you just call in? What's the number?
The number is 323-284-7826. Again, that's 323-284-7826.
And that was Kurt. Kurt, you want to be my guest tonight?
Sure, why not?
Oh, boy. Okay, so we are being basically totally unfiltered. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Jeanette. We hope that she's listening and she can call in. I can't find my phone. It's gone. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna Facebook Jeanette. Anyway, you guys live with it, okay? Because this is just what happens sometimes. I bet you Howard Stern would deal with this really well. Okay, Jeanette says yes. Please call in. And the number is, Kurt, again, will you read it? Just read it for me, please.
Sure. That number again is 323-284-7826. That is 323-284-7826.
And it's not toll free. Is there such a thing as long distance anymore? I mean, isn't just everything regular?
I think so, yeah.
Remember, honey, I'm on a long distance call. It's costing a lot of money. I'm talking to your grandmother. I was like, you probably don't remember that. Did you know that there was a difference in long distance rates once?
Yeah, I remember actually collect calling when I was younger. When
Oh,
they had the
wow.
commercials, the 1-800-COLLECT.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a little trick that if you have an 800 number, which I do, which I don't print on anything because then I have to pay for the person's call, especially when my friends are calling from jail.
Yeah.
It really kind of sucks then. You know?
I would imagine.
Okay, so we are waiting for Jeanette. Here's Jeanette's little short bio. Jeanette Ruiz is passionate about many things: yoga, books, and plant-based lifestyle, detoxing, and finding that thing that makes people connect. After 15 years in the business world and countless unexplained illnesses, Jeanette got to the root of her issues by digging deep and crushing the negative noise. Today, Jeanette strives to help others find their sweet spot by finding the perfect balance in connecting the mind, body, and soul. It was interesting because I met Jeanette because she posted on, everybody knows I have Easy Go Pro Toilet Stool. That's my business that I have, and it's a product I've just launched, and that I worked for the competition Squatty Potty at one point. And so Jeanette had posted this raving review of Squatty Potty, which it deserves the review that she gave. And I saw that.
Hello.
Oh, wow, there she is. Okay, I'm introducing you, and I'm telling everybody how wonderful you are and how really. Oh, look, we even have you in a video.
I can't see you though.
Okay, hold on, we're working on it. Oh, look how
Okay.
beautiful you look.
Thank you. Let me move it over this way. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so look at that. Okay, this is perfect. You look great, and you are on camera for the world to see right now. So, okay.
Hello.
Hi. So thank you, and I'm so sorry for the mess up tonight. This has been nuts. I never get lost, and I got lost. Welcome to the show, Jeanette.
Okay. I'm having one of those days too, so I'm like, it must be like in the stars or something. Something's going on.
If you could see, I've got Kurt sitting next to me. He's supposed to be over there because I want to be able to see the monitor. So I've had him turn the monitor. I got everything discombobulated. So it's my first Skype video radio show.
Oh,
You're
okay, cool.
perfect. Smile. There you go. So
I still don't see you. Am I supposed to?
oh,
see
you don't see me?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I
that's
just see
on
the
your side,
photo.
honey. You have to figure that out on your side. Do you see the video window? The little video window? See, Kurt, I'm supposed to be in that video window.
I just see the logo.
Kurt's fixing that, I think, for you. Okay.
I'll work on it.
All right.
Okay.
You do that, Kurt. We're usually not this disorganized. I was just explaining how I met you because you had written the amazing review for Squatty Potty on your ownthemoment.com blog.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we had talked, and I initiated a conversation with you because I wanted you. I loved your blog. I love the name of your Own the Moment. I think that is just so awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we started to talk a little bit. We didn't physically talk. We talked only, I think, through email or Facebook or something like that. And we started to see things that were very parallel in our lives, and things that we have, oh my God, what did you do? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was like, everything was like, oh my God.
I know. It's kind of, I'm like, is this my soul sister? I'm like, I'm sorry. Where has she been all my life?
It was crazy. And I had told you, because you are my second guest on this new show, and I had told you about what I was doing, and you thought it was really interesting. And, the reason that I think I was doing it and was be able to really help others, which is what you're doing, is you've had your life's challenges. Mm-hmm. Right. And I want to invite people like yourself that have had challenges in their lives, recognize those challenges. Probably those challenges or those filters were possibly put up by what I like to call is other people. I'm going to be really unfiltered about it. It's like, in our lives. So my show is all about being unfiltered. And you had thought it was a really great concept. And so I said, well, be on my show.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. You're right. And it's not just filters that people put up. It's filters that we put up because we think people want us to put up those filters. Right. Kind of crazy.
Right. That's exactly what, the going through the cathartic thing that I went through in order to come up with what do I really want to do with the radio platform. And, and it was really more about, I've had so many interesting things in my life as you have yours. I mean, your whole life now is so remarkably different than it was because you came to a realization that you didn't have to do what everybody else, right? Can you give me a little bit of your background so everybody understands why you're really my guest? Because you got rid of all of those filters and decided to change your whole life.
Yeah, well, it actually just came, I guess it was really one of those things where I didn't realize it was happening to me. I just kept having health issue after health issue after health issue. And it really stems back from coming from two teenage parents and seeing them struggle, and then me basically ingesting their stress and anxiety. And that fueled me in a good way to, become a good student and go to college and go to graduate school and, be the best person that I could possibly be, to be successful and to get myself out of that financial situation. But then talking about filters, you get this idea of what success is. And when that's your only fuel, then you burn out very quickly. And little by little, my health started to suffer because I was going after the wrong thing. I wasn't satisfying myself. I was satisfying an idea of myself.
Right. So can you talk about that a little bit more? Give us an example. Can you give me more of an example of, how you felt?
You mean health-wise?
Well, health-wise, but psychologically also. I mean, I know how I feel about all the crap that I do because of other people or for other people.
Yeah, I guess, I bought into the whole idea of there's a path with your life, right? Or a pattern that you should follow in order to be successful. And this is what you should want. This is what you should have, in order to be deemed successful, right? So you try to attain these things, or you try to get the house, you try to get the car, you try to get the successful career, and all these things will represent happiness, or they
exactly.
make us think they represent happiness, but along the way you lose yourself, and I guess seeing my parents struggle so much because of money led me to believe that if I had money, everything would be okay, everything would be better.
Isn't that something that most people believe, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is, but you never really, I guess, understand the magnitude of how that affects your psyche, how money can really cloud, I guess, your better judgment. And what happened to me was that I just started getting sick, and I started suffering from vertigo spells, and I started having digestive issues.
Yeah.
I would have these horrible migraine headaches, and I just could never put my finger on why that was happening to me.
Do you believe in that whole process of we manifest what we want in our lives, and we make ourselves miserable. We make ourselves miserable. I mean, it's in your mind. You can wake up and you can say, hey, it's going to be the best day of my life and I'm going to be super happy. I mean, I have this in my life all the time, right? So I see this, I wake up and I try to do this. Yay! I have another opportunity to have a really wonderful day, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then I see other people in my life wake up and it's like this. It's like, oh, it takes me forever to wake up. Oh, God. Where am I? What planet? I mean, what is that? Right?
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to be positive when you find yourself in a situation that you didn't think, or like if your life turns out the way you didn't expect it to. And then you start to do some soul searching, right? So I do believe in manifesting something. I'm believing in it more and more ever since I've become a yoga teacher and a detox specialist, and all these things that I've done recently, because I opened up to the possibility of it being a possibility in my life. Because like I said, you go to school, you go to graduate school and stuff, I have a marketing career. And I thought that was the only way that I could make a decent living, like pursuing my passions. I'm like, oh no, that's something I have to do on the side. I never even entertained the idea.
Right. Because one is work and one is something you like to do. And
exactly.
God forbid they should meet.
Exactly.
And be the same thing.
So I was very stubborn and I was very hard-headed. I'm like, no, it can't be. But as soon as I opened up, I'm like, maybe it can be. It's like, why not? There's other people who are doing it. Why can't I do it?
Yeah. And you know what? There's other people that are being a yoga instructor and a detox specialist and hating it also, right?
Right. Absolutely. Oh, no, absolutely. But for me, I know that when I teach a private lesson or if I counsel somebody, I feel alive, and I know that if I help someone in the slightest bit, that's enough for me. That's worth its weight in gold. Like if I would do it for free. So I know that it's something that I'm passionate about.
So you switched gears. You decided one day that what drove you to that pivot, right? What made you really decide that you have a successful marketing career? I have a successful marketing career. I'm freaking sick of it. That's why I'm now doing these other things, right? Mm-hmm. What was it? What was the turning point? What was that thing that made you just say, okay, that's it? You woke up and you said, that's it. I'm going to be a yoga instructor and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I love, not what I think I have to do to make money.
Yeah. Well, I practiced yoga on for about 10 years. And then I really got into it after an illness. And because I used to marathons for many, many years and started to develop neuromas on both of my feet, and it made it painful just to get out of bed. So I gave up running and I started practicing yoga more often.
Did you get that? Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Because I just learned about neuromas the other night. Because are those the ones that are in between, like by the toes and the ball of the foot? They're supposed to be super painful.
Yeah, they're benign tumors, and women are prone to get them, as we are most things, but, and it's caused from compression in your shoe, and runners get them also, but I developed them on both feet, which was unusual. And, it was just like every time I would get out of bed, it was like needles stabbing me in my foot. So as soon as I started to heal a little bit, I started doing yoga full time, and, I found my love for it again. So I came home one day and I said to my husband, I'm gonna go to yoga school and I'm gonna become a yoga instructor. He's like, okay. And I'm like, all right. Like I had no plan, it was just like, I just wanted to do it. And I went with it and I did the training. And it was funny because when I graduated, I was so self-conscious, like I did not look like your typical yoga model. I wasn't on the yoga, I wasn't ready for Yoga Journal in the front cover, you see all of these.
God forbid, I don't know if I'd ever be ready. I know, but you look beautiful. We pulled up those pictures of you, the 3 pictures, and then that's just beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. But you see these women in the magazines and they're like half naked and they look incredible.
But
And
they're
you're
all
like,
contorted in these amazing positions, though, too.
and
Which
that,
are
and that's another thing. Like I practice hatha yoga, which is a more easier
me
style.
too. That's the one I practice.
So when I did the training, a lot of the power yoga and vinyasa yoga is what's popular now, with yoga studios, and they do handstands and they like to do these more advanced poses, and I wasn't there, so I was very self-conscious coming out, starting to teach, and I said, you know what, I just have to be me, and I just want to help people, and I can't let my hang-ups get in the way of me being of service. So
Well, plus you probably have that. I don't have a college degree. I think that anybody that's ever listened to any of my radio shows probably knows that about me. I have the college of the University of the street. Well, not that kind of street. I have the university of everything I learned. I'm self-taught. Every single thing I know because I dumped myself into the trenches. I have always, and that's one of my problems, is that I feel inferior because I don't have a degree, especially now when you can't even get a job at McDonald's if you don't have a degree. I mean, it's really crazy. But I don't have a degree, and in the past couple of years, I just started admitting that, because that's something that, admitting it in public, like if I go into a client meeting, I'll say, I don't have a degree. I just say it, I get it out there on the table and say, but I know what I'm doing. So there you go. I didn't spend all those years in college, but there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the psyche in the back of your head is saying to people, well, I've spent all this money and I've done all this schoolwork and I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm just not happy.
Right.
I'm just not happy. And
and a lot of it too is, I graduated from college in 2000. So I had one economic disaster after another.
No kidding.
So it was like, okay, yeah, you graduate and you spend all this money, right. On college on a 4-year degree. And yeah, the experience is fantastic, but there's nothing like life experience. So when you say you got a degree in life, yeah, I'm worth his weight in gold. Right. So you have this degree and you get a job and then the economy tanks and you're kind of like, okay, now what? Like no advancement opportunities and, there's no security anymore. And then I went back. So then I was like, okay, let me get my graduate degree. Let me waste more money. Right. Because then everything will be better. And so I did that in hopes of, again, advancing my career. And then the economy took another dump. And, I don't know. I'm all for. I have 2 nieces that if they ever ask me about college and stuff, I'm going to be like, you know what? Take some time. Take some time to really figure out what it is that you want to do before you jump into it, because
the pressure is horrible on kids these days. I know I have a 33-year-old and a 23-year-old, and my 23-year-old's an artist, and my 33-year-old is more a business guy, right? But my 23-year-old is still at home. I have that home, right? I still have my 23-year-old still at home, which is fine. It's fine. And, but anyway, we won't go into all of that right now. I really want to talk about how growing up, you grew up. Where did you grow up?
I was born in New York, but I grew up in Miami, which is where I currently live.
Okay. Where were you born in New York? Can I ask you?
In Queens.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother's from Ravenswood in Queens, and my dad's from Brooklyn. So, and they were very young when they had me. They were 15 and 16.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. And they're still together.
Oh.
It's incredible. So they were kids raising kids, and what they were able to do with their life, is incredibly inspirational to me. And I look to them for guidance all the time, because they didn't graduate from high school either. And no, you graduated from high school. Well,
I graduated from high school, and I did take some courses, and I did go to the American Academy of Nutrition. So I did have some schooling.
But it's amazing, because I look to them because I get the best advice from them. You know what I mean? And because they've been through a lot, and they've seen a lot and they've witnessed a lot, and I trust their judgment, and I'm so glad that I had that experience of having young parents, and I have a younger brother, so they had to take care of both.
I bet you your parents are probably the same age as me. How old's your mom?
My mom is 52.
What?
52, 53.
What?
Yeah, my dad's a year younger, so.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she's not the same age as me. I'm way older.
You know, it's the craziest thing because we'll go out and they're like, oh, look at your sister and your brother. And I'm like, no, it's my parents. And they love it. You know, they love the attention.
I'm like dumbfounded right now. I find myself always I feel as though I'm always the oldest person in the room anymore. Well, I felt this way because I probably, with all of my friends, have always been older than them. But when you start to come to realize that, wait a minute, you still have 5 years until you're going to be 60. I'm going to be 60, right, in March. And that's part of my pivot in life is, hell, I'm in the last quadrant of my life. I call it the last quadrant. And it is, you know, when you think about it, I'm not going to, I honestly, I'm one of these people that I don't really want to live past a certain age. You know, and at home tonight, it's funny. There was this house that was just like the perfect house to buy. And my husband's a little bit of a procrastinator, but it got sold. And it was really like the perfect kind of house. And I convinced him, I said, you know, well, we have to buy something. We don't own a home yet. And so we've always been afraid. We're in California and you know, Mark goes out. Talk about this fear, right? The living in the fear of someone else and then living in this relationship with my husband, who he's a little bit afraid, and I'm more, let's just go do things. And he's got, we keep our finances separate because he's not like my husband. So anyway, I'm not going to go there. I can't. Anyway, I just don't want to go too off topic because I'll start to get into other things. But my point is that, he said, well, maybe we'll go in with somebody and do this and do a partnership or whatever, something like that with a friend. So, and I said, okay, well, this person wants the house for when their little girl is in college, and the little girl's 3 and they're in Italy, right? So she's 3. So I said to my husband, I said, Marino, that's in 15, 20 years. I said, I will be dead by then. Let's just get a house and move in. Who cares? You know? I mean, when the girl comes to live in the house with the partner to buy the house, I'll be dead. Well, almost. I mean, I'll be 80.
80.
I'll be 80. Look can you see me? You
No,
still
I
can't see me?
I still can't see you.
I'm going like this. I'm going like, look at me. I will be 80.
But let me tell you, when you said your age, I watched your previous episode, and when you said your age, I said, Alec, my husband's Alec. I'm like, Alex, look at her. I'm like, she looks amazing.
She's older than my mother.
She's older than my mom. Exactly.
And I am. And I guess that I have to sit here and say, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All right, so let's talk about, what time is it? I see the clock is now behind me.
11:33. Well,
okay.
8:33
Oh my
time.
God, it is late there. All right, now when we come back, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna run one of my Easy Go Pro videos. When we come back, we are going to talk about. I want to know more about what it's like to make. I want to know more when we come back. I want to know more about how awesome it is to feel content, right? And also at the same time, how awesome it is to feel scared to death because you're not working. Well, I don't know if you are or if you're not, but you know, to do something that you really love and yet not sure how that's going to turn out because you've made a big change in your life. So we will be right back in about a minute.
Okay.
Hey there. Do you know how your puborectalis muscle works? Well, here's your colon, where waste is stored thanks to the puborectalis muscle that pinches your colon shut until you're ready to go. But there's a problem. The invention of the toilet. It changed everything, except our anatomy. See, we're all created to squat, to go, but we don't. We sit, and sitting only partially relaxes the muscle. We end up straining and pushing. Easy Go Pro fixes the problem instantly just by elevating your feet. Your hips shift to a natural position, and that unpinches your colon, and that allows it all to flow easier. Reinventing the toilet isn't an option, but you can make yours better. Easy Go Pro. It's ergonomic, sturdy, compact, and stores completely out of the way. Plus, one size works for everyone. Easy Go Pro. Go time just got easier.
Hey, we're back. That's my little animated video for those of you that would enjoy knowing what your puborectalis muscle is. But anyway,
That's always a good thing.
Kurt went out because I was trying to tell you on Facebook while we were off that it's on your side that you can't see me. You have to do something on your side to click on something. So he's going to go get Tony so that we can tell you what to do so you can see me. Because it's just, I'm seeing you perfect. I'm seeing you here. I'm seeing you there. I'm seeing you all over the place.
Well,
right.
I just don't want to touch anything and make any.
Right. So I think it's a real simple fix so that you can see me because it probably you'll feel a little bit more comfortable. You'll get to see how funny I'm being with my hands and my face and everything else like that. Because I can see your beautiful face.
I'm trying to control my hand motions because I'm Latina. So, we talk a lot with our hands. So I'm just trying to keep them low.
So where are your parents from? Where are you from?
Well, we're Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
But we're from New York. So we're basically American.
Right, but you're Puerto Rican. Well, because here in Los Angeles, we have. I was at a restaurant the other day, and I said, "Oh, Rosa, are you Hispanic?" And she said, "I'm Latina." And I went, "You're not Hispanic?" She said, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "I don't know." And so she started to correct me on anything. I'm not Mexican. I'm from Costa Rica, and because I asked her if something was spicy. She says, it depends on if it's Mexican spicy or if it's Costa Rican spicy. And I was like, okay, now I'm completely confused. I'm just from the valley, all right?
She's like, is it going to burn my tongue? That's all I need to know.
That's all. She goes, well, if you're a Mexican, spicy is, yes, he burn your tongue. No. Oh, God, too much information. All right, so anyway, anybody just joining us, what's up?
Oh, Tony says you just have to open up a browser in the internet. These cameras won't actually let her see it in the actual Skype call. So if you go onto the internet, go into ubnradio.com, channel 1, you can see.
Oh, look at that. Can you just open up another browser?
Let me see.
And then you can watch yourself on television. But what's going to happen is there'll probably be a little bit of a delay. So don't let your beauty distract yourself.
I'll try not to.
But we've got your name up and we have everything up there, right? I can't see because I don't have my glasses on, but all right. So what did I say we were going to talk about when we came back? Your website is omthemoment.com. You have daily blogs. I just want to get that out to make sure I get it out. You've got daily blogs, right?
It's actually weekly.
Oh, it's weekly. Oh, daily. Yeah. How crazy am I to think? Look, and I love your logo.
One day it'll be weekly. Right now, one day it'll be daily. Right now, it's weekly.
I think people that do the dailies, I think they write them all at once, for a month, and then they, like Seth. Seth Godin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Seth does three lines. I think he got so tired of doing daily blogs that his are just sometimes 3 lines.
Let me tell you, I tip my hats off to some people who do it.
Me too.
Every single day because it's a lot of work. I mean, if you're putting out quality content, it's extremely difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is it? What does it really feel like to? You said that you have your marketing business still, right? What's the ratio? How many? Where's your money coming from? Is your detox specialty? And let's talk about what you're doing now.
Well, my full time is marketing. That's definitely what pays the bills right now, right? But I do have private lessons. I do private lessons for yoga, and I teach classes. And I am a detox specialist, so I do have clients. And
you have athletes for no meat athletes or something. What is that?
That's actually really cool. I'm glad you brought that up. So No Meat Athlete is, his name is Matt Frazier, and he started a blog called nomeatathlete.com. And he put a call out for people across the world, basically to start up running groups in their community for plant-based runners. So my husband said, "Oh, I'll do it." So we're doing it in Miami, and we actually have a great group. We have over close to 90 members on Facebook, and each month we get together, and it's just about creating community for people who are interested in transitioning to a plant-based lifestyle. And so if you're veg curious or if you're vegetarian or vegan or whatever.
Veggie curious? Honey,
Veg curious.
I am
like
right
that?
here in the center of Hollywood. So I wonder if there's veggie curious people out there too.
I love the way that sounds, veg curious. Every opportunity I get to use it, I use it.
I love it.
But we went to Portland recently on vacation, and we fell in love with the city. And my husband and I are both vegans, and we've been vegans for, I would say, we were vegetarian for a while, and then we transitioned vegan last year. And I did it for health reasons. And then my husband just read a couple of books, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to try it out. And we've been able to stick with it. And it helps that we're both, vegan.
Yeah, we have some amazing restaurants here in LA that are total vegan. Amazing restaurants.
I know.
You can't even tell you're not eating. But for my birthday last year, we went to one in Santa Monica, and it was so delicious. But a few of us didn't feel good the next day. And I read somewhere it's because if you're not used to the food, that because you use a lot of almonds, right? And there's a lot of substitutes that are used, correct?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you go into the restaurants, and although they're plant-based, they may be using like soy products, and sometimes that doesn't sit well with people. So it could have been a whole.
Yeah, it was delicious though. Oh my God, it was delicious. So, I'm a carb-based diet. I'm a carb-based diet.
It's funny because the reason why I even transitioned to veganism is because I was a vegetarian for many years, and I started to have all kinds of gastro issues. I would feel this pain on the top of my stomach after every meal, and it just would not go away. And it would get to the point where I would have to sleep at night with 3 pillows.
Sounds like my sister. That sounds exactly like my sister.
It's crazy. And so I went to the doctor, and he's like, "Oh, you have acid reflux and IBS.
Right.
Take these pills and have a nice life." And I'm like, no, my symptoms didn't fit with either diagnosis, So it got to the point where one day I woke up, and it was really early in the morning, and I was vomiting, and I had diarrhea. So it was like a really nasty situation, but the pain was so unbearable that my mom came, and she took me to the hospital. And again, they ran all kinds of tests, and they couldn't find anything wrong. And they were like, "Oh, you have acid reflux, IBS, whatever." So I was saying to myself, well, if I'm a vegetarian and I eat right and stuff, like what's going on, and come to find out that I did a detox, and it was all raw food. So it was nothing cooked. It was all fruits and vegetables and some additional
Was it
herbs.
juice? Did you do juicing when you detoxed, or did you stop the peristalsis process of your gut or through just juicing, or did you have solid food also?
I had solid food. Yeah. I couldn't get down with just the juicing. I wasn't mentally there yet,
Yeah.
So I basically just started eating a whole bunch of salads, and I would eat tons and tons of fruit. People where I work, they're just looking at me like, what is this girl doing? Like I would eat a whole papaya for breakfast. I would nothing fruit. And with the medicinal herbs, I started getting some relief. And little by little, I started noticing like, okay, now I'm going to start introducing foods back in, but I'm going to go vegan because I noticed that I felt so much better not eating any kind of dairy, not eating eggs, because I was vegetarian, but I would eat the eggs and I would eat dairy.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. And I just made a world of a difference. And I cut out a lot of processed, like I was eating a lot of the fake meats too,
Yeah. Like tempeh and all of that, right?
Yeah. And tofurkey and all that stuff.
Tofurkey. You were veggie curious. Tofurkey. Go.
Because it's like, when you cut out the meat, you're in that transition period.
Well, you really crave to have that substance.
Right.
It's having the substance to chew.
Exactly. But then, after I did that detox cleanse, like I didn't want it anymore. Like my body was like, that's too much. It's just too much to handle. So I never really went back to that stuff.
You don't want to soak up the blood on the plate with the piece of bread, the white bread, that stick it right there in that juicy steak juice. Huh? No.
And it's crazy because, like I said, since I transitioned because of my health, I never really did it for quote unquote, the animals. I know like vegans will probably hate me for saying that, but it's true. Like I did it for health reasons. But as I go along in my journey, like, of course, you start getting more in tune with, watching the documentaries and reading the books, and so like you fall down this rabbit hole, right?
Well, you have to. I think. Don't we have to find a place where? Last week, Darla was talking about she's 50. I'm 60. You're 22, and
I'm 36.
You're 36. Your mom's 22.
Yeah.
But just coming to terms with really what makes us feel good, not what's supposed to make us feel good. It's what makes you feel good is to have a plant-based diet, and we all know probably that is the paleo people will argue with you a little bit on that one.
Oh yeah.
But that's
there
what
are a lot of similarities with the paleo diet too. So
yes. Except for the massive amount of butter and beef and pork and whatever, and pig belly and all of that stuff. But there comes a point in our lives, I suppose, is where, I don't care. I'm not saying about you. What makes me feel good, I think what I'm trying to say is what it's about is you got to do what you're doing because it makes you feel good. And I'm not saying shoot heroin or do anything like that. But what I'm saying is that don't let other people, like I would love to just have a plant-based diet. I would love that. Why? Because I pretty much have one now, except for all the carbs I throw in. Oh, you're over here. I keep looking over here. Because of all the carbs that I throw in, just out of habit, just because I want to, just because I don't want anybody to tell me I can't.
Right.
That's really what's going on in the back of my noggin. Right. And so for you, because we're running out of time, it figures because I was so late. Can we go a little bit over because I was so late? Yeah, thank you. For you, what advice do you have that you can give people that are stuck and maybe are living with a man that loves to be carnivorous? Carnivore, what do they call that? But yet, you just want to come home and make yourself a nice salad and not have to bother with his crap or the family's crap of macaroni and cheese. And, you really just want to live a gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based diet. And you would love everybody to do that. So can you give anybody any advice as how you just kind of do this Italian screw you thing with your hand when you come home? Because it's what my problem is. I can't change my diet because I don't have the strength to say, hey, everybody, F you. This is how I want to eat. So I'm kind of forced into not eating how I would. I don't even know how to say it.
I think, there's two things. I think the first thing is just to lead by example, right? And I, for the longest time, I would come home and cook because I cook every single day for my husband. I'm so old school, I know, but
you disappoint me, Jeanette. You disappoint me.
Well, I'd come home, I'd cook dinner, and I would still cook him meat, and I would sit there and I would just like, oh gosh, but I would cook him meat and he would have his dinner and stuff and I'd have whatever I wanted to eat. And then little by little, I never forced it on him because
So that's probably the trick, right? Is to
yeah. And then, he came up, he saw the books that I was reading and then he read a couple of books and then he started thinking about it. And then one day he just said, you know what, maybe I will transition. So he kind of did it on his own. And then the second thing is just add more of the good stuff, right? If you are making steak with potatoes, then make a huge salad, make a huge kale salad, and then just introduce more plant-based foods on the table. And then hopefully they'll kind of gravitate more towards those foods.
Well, we have a restaurant here and it's called Veggie Grill. I don't know if you have it where you are. I keep looking over that way because you're over that way. And anyway, hi everybody.
But I've heard of it. I've heard of that restaurant.
Yeah, it's really hot in here. I mean, there's Kurt. There's no air in here whatsoever. I'm like, okay. But at Veggie Grill, so I would take my sons. I'm surrounded by testosterone. There's no estrogen in my life. Not even me, because I have no inners, right? So I don't even have any estrogen. But I take them to Veggie Grill and it's like, well, I can't eat that. It's like, just try it. Just try it. If you try it, you're probably going to like it. And if I didn't tell you it wasn't meat, you would never know.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I took my father to this plant-based restaurant, and I didn't tell him it was plant-based. And he ordered a BLT, right? So they had like the little
Fake
fake
bacon.
bacon, and it was delicious. They had like a chipotle sauce on it. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. And he's eating it. He's like, "Oh yeah." And then I tell him that it's not real bacon. He's like, "Oh, this sucks." I'm like, "But you were just enjoying it.
Yeah.
You were just
Yeah.
enjoying it, thinking it was bacon."
That's so it's really is in people's heads, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's probably in my head when I smell the blood of the steak that I just can't do it. I just hate it more than anything in the world when I can smell the blood of a steak and I don't even know if it's blood. I think it's just juice. It's not
Yeah.
really blood, is it? I don't know. But if I smell it or if I smell cold chicken, I can't.
No, I've gotten to the point with that where I can't really deal with that either. But another you were talking about your sons, and another idea is to cater to their interests. For instance, like my brother loves to exercise, right? And he loves to be in shape. He was in the army, and he's just like, he has that build where he could just exercise for 2 seconds and like look amazing, right? So for the longest time, he's a huge meat eater, and for the longest time, he showed no interest in transitioning to plant-based at all, And little by little, he started following some guys online, and they were juicing and they were doing this kind of thing. And there's this guy who wrote a book that's called "Meat is for Pussies." And it is fantastic. This guy, I mean, if you should look him up. I think
I've heard of that book.
John, I think his name is John Joseph. Is his name?
I think so too.
And he curses like a sailor. He's from New York. He's hysterical. So my brother requested that we get that for him for Christmas this year. So we bought it, and he calls me up and he's like, "Okay, you can't deny the science, And he's like, "I think I'm going to go vegetarian for February." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
But it appealed to him because he's interested in being fit and, and getting the most bang for his buck as far as workout is concerned. So
I think protein, protein is very, very important for people who work. I'm so sorry, for people to work out and all of that stuff, and they have it in their minds that they have to have it. And I think that they do have to have protein. So you can have whey protein. You don't have to have meat protein. You can do protein shakes that are whey protein. There's all different ways to bring protein into your body to build your muscle mass, because really that's the whole mindset of I got to have a steak if I want to have muscle.
Exactly.
And that's not necessarily true. The other thing is just the peace of mind. I was reading your blog last night, and you talked about, I believe it was your blog. I hope it is, because I'm about to say it. That's what you said. Earthing, that people do earthing, grounding and earthing. I had just heard of that. We're running out of time, but I'm going to have you back so that we can talk some more, and probably like in March, if that would be great. But I'm not going to end it right now. But we have to end it soon because Kurt's getting a little antsy over here, and he's like shaking his leg. He's like a little puppy dog scratching.
Sorry, Kurt.
It's just such a little bit of a mess. But anyway, I want you to take the last minute here. Tell people how, if you're in the Miami area and if they want a personal yoga instructor, or if they really want to talk to somebody about plant detoxing, and just tell people how to find you. We do have your, I can't see from here, but your Facebook or email address is up. Can you see what that is, Kurt, on the graphic? Oh, look at that beautiful picture. We have the beautiful picture of you on the beach with your husband in your wedding gown up right now. It's so pretty. And then now we're showing your, if you can't see, that's your mom. That's your mom and dad, and you as a little girl sitting at the kitchen table.
Yes.
I thought it was your brother and sister.
Do you see how young?
Oh my gosh.
When I was this story always sticks out of my mind. When I was a young little whippersnapper, my dad was taking me to school one day, and I think it was like some kind of like parent-teacher conference or something. And he tells me, he's like, "Don't tell them how old I am," because I guess he was just so, I guess, ashamed, and now like I'm so proud to say how old they are, and I'm so proud to tell everyone their journey. And I told my dad, so I'm going to write a book one day because their story has to be on the screen. They're definitely, they're definitely inspirational, and they beat the statistics, It's like they produce two amazing children, if I do say so myself.
No, absolutely.
And they're just incredible people. So yeah, those are my parents.
Well, I think it's really amazing that you came on. I love the fact that we met each other. And in such an interesting way. You know,
Yes.
and I hope that we can continue to pursue talking about things that, and you know, once we get to know each other, and you can come on the show, and we can really kind of talk about some really good, meaty, you know, things about life and experiences, and so that we can help other people. Because really, your goal in life is to help other people, and you want to find a way to dedicate your entire life to doing that. And I too, at this point in my life, because God forbid I'm going to be 60, I want to do the same thing, and I don't want to listen to anybody anymore tell me that I can't, and this is what I want to do, and this radio show hopefully will evolve into that. It's going to take a little while because I'm a little kooky, but but with great guests like you that will come on, and and in the initial phases here, it's a little difficult because I want us to come back. I want you to come back, and I really want to talk more about maybe the philosophy of yoga, and what it is about the mind and spirit and body connection, and we'll pick up a real solid topic to really go in depth and talk about that now that we've gotten really to know each other on this show.
Cool. Absolutely. Thank you.
And when I'm in Miami, I'm going to come for some yoga instruction.
Oh yeah, and I'll take you to some great restaurants.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then I want you to. What's the name of that club again? The meat athletes or the no meat.
It's called nomeatathletes.com.
That's it.
Yeah, that's his website. Yeah,
That's
and we
it.
have a No Meat Athlete Miami running group.
Yes, because I know quite a few people in Miami that run. And they run in all of the marathons and stuff there in Miami because so anyway, that's why I wanted you to say it again because
Cool.
I think that's pretty cool. So omthemoment.com, omthemoment.com is your website. Your email address is omthemoment@yahoo.com if anybody wants to connect up with you. You will come back. You will come back. You will come back,
Jeanette. I will.
All right, and we'll figure out how we can see you. So
Okay.
you can see, because you look great. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go watch the show and you're going to see how great you look.
Okay, cool.
All right. And so that's basically it. I think I've gone way over. And thank you so much for being on the show. There we go. There's applause for Jeanette Ruiz. Yeah. Thanks for being on the show, and I think that we've got to probably wrap it up. This has been Living Unfiltered with Wendy Cooper. What's your truth? And if anybody would like to be on my show, you can email me at Wendy@C-Spot-Run, the letter C-Spot-Run, or you can call the station here, I think, and probably get a hold of Tony Sweet, who owns the dang place and doesn't ever answer his phone. But this has been Living Unfiltered with Wendy Cooper. What's your truth? And we will be back next week on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Okay, peace out. Love ya.